is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
The iconic intro to one of my new favorite games, Slay the Princess. I am back again, guys, playing this game just a day after I recorded that last video where I tried to annoy the narrator and I ended up getting spooked and not only spooked but haunted by all the cabins. But anyway, we are going to try and get a different ending this time. I don't know what ending we will get, but I just know that there's like tons of different endings to this game. So this is going to be a very long series, but anyway, let's get right into it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep like doing the whole talk and explore options until I can kind of get somewhere I haven't been before. I don't know. I just want to see like what if I can unlock any other options from here besides going to the cabin or walking away. Let's see what he has to say. So I did say that like maybe she wants to end the world because she's locked up, and that's what he said. While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up a bit soon.
Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
I mean, you never know. Maybe you locked her up and pissed her off.
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end. There is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her. That's the spirit.
Oh, oops.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. A warning before you go any further.
We've already been through this.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything.
We're just about to see what the cabin looks like this time.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, so this time we are going to take the blade and go into the basement. We're just going to see if we can kind of surprise attack her, maybe? I don't know.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
I feel like she sounds different than like the normal options. Or the other options.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
What if we just tell her, okay, yeah, I'm here to slay you?
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we should. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Oh, we're about to die.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Don't just tell her that.
Well, too bad, I already did.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully soon.
But look at her. She doesn't look like she wants to end the world.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
Let's
You
see.
walk up to the chains binding the princess to they're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Alright, I'm being really
You make your
quiet.
way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Okay, so we have an option. Save the princess or slay the princess. Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive you cut into her flesh.
Oh, gross.
The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you.
Very
Now
high
let's get out
pain
of here.
tolerance.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
Seriously, dude.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Let's warn her. Okay, so slay the princess, slay the princess, slay the princess, slay the princess. Warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Dang. I was really hoping we'd be able to, like, get her out of there. Yo, this narrator sucks ass. Fuck him. Man.
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
We're just gonna try and free her.
A warning.
There's gotta be a way, like the little skeptical voice said.
She will lie, she will cheat.
You've already said
she
this,
will do
dude. Shut
everything
up.
in her power to eat, and more like a dungeon.
Oh, we got a different
wisps
one.
Of starlight attempt to illuminate
Guys,
the
let's go.
cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Okay, we're gonna ignore the mirror. We're just gonna
I'm
into the
afraid
basement.
I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon. Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay. I'm trusting you. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Thanks. I mean it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase.
all this in a wood cabin.
Few sputtering torches
Jeez.
attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock
Oh, what
eyes
the
with
hell?
the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your
This
intervention,
narrator
you'll
shutting
find
and
a way
locking the
out
door
eventually. That's not fair.
because of his will. Like, let me just save her instead of slay her. I want to do something different for once.
Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else.
I don't think there's like another person in this world besides me and the princess. Like, I have yet to hear about all these people we're saving.
Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks.
Oops, my bad.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information.
Can our voices and the narrator just shut up? I'm ready to talk to the princess.
I won't.
Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming. Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world. I wouldn't do that.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am. Good. Forget you ever saw it.
Nice try, but I won't. Specifically because you told me to.
Wow.
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, and I don't see any keys in your hands either. So I'm afraid my only way out is another surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests. No. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that. Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
Maybe ending the world would do the world a favor.
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
See, this is exactly how I was thinking when I first started playing this.
I do. So I guess this all comes down to which of us caves first. And it's not going to be me.
These options are
I'm
lengthy.
extremely patient.
It's probably better if we take action anyway. No use trying to wait her out. That's playing to her strengths.
But sure, let's talk about what happened. Because what happened is exactly my issue. The last time we met, your body tried to kill me. If you take a moment to imagine yourself in my position, I think you'll understand why letting you near me with that thing is untenable. So, be a good bird and hand it over. And if being nice isn't enough motivation, well, I think you're aware that I'm not afraid to resort to violence. If you come near me with that thing, I will strangle you with these chains.
She doesn't beat around the bush, does she? Yes, it's almost like she's a fundamentally bad person who wishes to inflict pain on others.
Or it's another bluff.
No hard feelings, of course. But you should be aware of my position. I might be the one in chains, but we're both locked in here. The only thing you have to bargain with is that scrap of metal. Admittedly, it's a scrap of metal that I want, but... we've already been over this. I'm more patient than you'll ever be.
Guys, I don't know if I should give her the knife again or cut her out on her own. So, I mean, if we cut her out, she really doesn't have any, like, arms or anything. And in fact, if we chop her head off, maybe that'll kill her.
Do you think these chains take away my saying things? I said no.
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly. The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her.
I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if she walked up to us with a blade again, after what happened between us?
How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you. You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart.
Did we slay her?
The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
I don't like this. It was too easy.
It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably. Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now.
You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises?
Can we please get out of here before she wakes up from the dead and kills
It's better
us?
to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
No, I think we should leave the blade, actually, as a matter of fact. Okay, you're just gonna be
With your work
stupid.
done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act
Wait.
surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
So we go, this is where we go, the world changes after we meet the princess, and I don't think we have to kill her to get to, like, this world or whatever, but this is strange. We slayed her and did what we were supposed to, and now the world's the same as, like, every ending.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward?
Is our reward unlocking more endings?
This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
What the hell?
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
Slay ourselves.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade then drive it into your heart. You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Okay, but like, fucking eternal immortality with nothing to do, nowhere to go, just emptiness? No! That sounds like torture.
We'll see about that.
That just straight up sounds like torture. Wait, there's another chapter.
You're on a path in the woods. See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get.
Whoa! Wait, I thought that was just gonna be the end. There's more. Guys, there's more.
There are so many more threads to pull once you stop feeling.
Voice of the cold.
That's a little dark, buddy. You feeling okay? I'm feeling nothing. And I like that just fine. He's not wrong. Sentimentality won't help us here. We need scientific rigor. So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2? It's our 3rd. What gave it away? Your open discussions. You came around on that awful fast. Have you just been pretending to forget every time? I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first. So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage. That's because there is no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it will be for you to succeed. It's not like it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade. And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave.
I kind of doubt that, dude.
You already slew her, and you survived. Yes. Then why, pray tell, are you here? Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves. Why? Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward. Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss?
Or
You
like
should be
eternal
happy.
nothing.
We weren't. We were bored. You were bored. I was just unhappy. There were still answers that we needed to find. It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined
What was
everything.
working?
How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us? The world doesn't stay saved if you die.
That's too damn bad.
And if the world isn't saved, then that means she isn't dead. Oh, now isn't that interesting? I assumed she'd just be a pile of old bones. But perhaps she's not. There's only one way to find out. We should go see her.
Let's just go to the cabin.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning, and what we do is entirely up to us. And we have all those mysteries to unravel. Isn't that right? You aren't here to solve a mystery. You're here to save the world. That's what you say. But how can we be sure?
This narrator dude's real sketchy, guys.
We can't be sure of anything except what's right in front of us. Okay, but we should care about the fate of the world. Why?
Maybe, maybe not.
Because we should. I don't know. It's important. Is it? Yes. I think, for all we know, the world you're talking about isn't even real.
See? See? Like, there's no other people? Like, no, nothing?
Of course it's real. Where do you think you are? Somewhere else? Maybe we are. This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
Okay, dude.
As soon as you enter the cabin, you're struck by an overwhelming scent of decay,
Ah!
of mold and death,
Ah!
water.
Ah!
This stately wooden building is
Did you-
bloated,
did
its
you-
beams dripping with
Dude!
ooze
Look at
of
the-
putrefaction, all but the exterior stone walls warped beyond
The narrator.
recognition. It
must have been beautiful once, but in its ruin, it is beyond repulsive.
There's a ghost! There's a ghost! Why are we not talking about the ghost? Or the mirror? Random mirror? And why does this look like some sort of church building? The windows? Hello? Are you blind? Are you stupid?
But you're not alone. You can feel something watching you.
It's the princess.
Faintly outlined against the rotting wood of the wall.
She's in a wedding dress. Oh my god, were we supposed to marry her?
Is that her? It's like she isn't even there.
I'm scared.
See, we killed her.
Guys, I'm actually scared.
Right. Maybe she doesn't reset like us. She certainly doesn't look the same as she did last time. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. There's a mirror, that's it. The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade.
There isn't a table.
That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Because we already slayed the princess and now she's a
Maybe
ghost.
It's gone because we've already killed her with it.
But we had it with us when we died. But besides, everything else has reset. Why wouldn't the blade have reset too?
Maybe it's because we've already explored that avenue. We've seen what happens when we slay her. Maybe this place has decided we don't need to try that again.
I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and
Mirror.
make your way down to the basement?
It's a mirror, my guy.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't
I think this
exist.
dude is blind.
Just reach forward and open the door.
Oh my god.
It's so hazy. We should try and clean it off. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down.
Yeah, we can see it now.
So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway.
Oh, I'm a little scared.
I'm much more interested in seeing other things. No way left to go but down.
Can we, like, get rid of the emo voice, please? Little edgy boy voice.
The door to the basement groans open.
Okay.
The air is foul and wet.
Look at her.
So thick that you
We
can
could have
almost
had
feel
that.
it
We
seeping
could
off
have
your
had a
skin
wedding
and
with her or whatever.
blood.
It's supposed to be a love story,
There
but
is
this
a
narrator's a
slimy
bitch.
algae. The wood rotted through in places, reeking of fetid vegetation. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadows, legs submerged up to her shins in dark waters. There she is again.
Barely.
She's just an old memory. Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner.
We're in love with the ghost.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A bloated body floating face down in slowly rising waters. Her wrist still bound to the wall. by a
What the
heavy chain.
fuck?
This cell is a dark and isolated place. with an
Is she
option to the
dead?
window
Did she
to allow
drown
starlight
herself?
to penetrate. See, she's dead.
She's not just dead. It looks like she's been rotting. So killing her does stick. Mostly. But if she's dead, then what are we supposed to do?
She isn't dead. You clearly just believe she is.
Are you narrator? This narrator's so stupid. Oh my god. Have you not seen the dead body floating in the
Corpse is
water?
floating right in front of us. You can stop it with the mind games.
I'm scared, guys. I'm like,
If she's dead, then do we even have to do anything? How can she be a threat to the world like this? Thoughts are cut short by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock.
oh no.
You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead. She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before?
Chat, this is scary.
love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon.
Dude.
Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even. Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. Yeah, this is tricky. But let's talk to her. See what kind of information she has that we don't. But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
Bold of you to come back here after what you did.
But she doesn't answer your question. All she does is watch you in shadowed silence. Do you hear that trickling sound? The water's rising, isn't it? It is, and it's rising fast. Oh, that's interesting. We've never drowned before. I wonder how it'll feel. Bad, I bet. I don't think dying ever feels good. Yes, how astute. Dying is bad and you should avoid it. How about you stop trying to talk to her and do something instead? The princess eyes you with a disaffected gaze as you rush up the stairs, but you don't make it past the first few steps. The door bursts open, a powerful wave of water crashing down towards you. You're swept up in the flood. Your head slams into the basement wall. You come to a moment later, suspended in darkness, disorientated, only aware of the surface of the water and the emptiness above. And of course, the princess, hovering above you, watching in silence as you struggle to stay afloat in the icy depths. There's no way out. It's so dark and cold. I think our limbs are slowing down. How much longer can we do this? Just keep breathing. We'll figure this out. Or we won't. It doesn't matter either way. But you don't have time to figure anything out. Something cold and clammy wraps around your ankle. You're dragged under, only able to take one last hopeful gulp of air before your head is plunged into the freezing depths. As you sink below the surface, you see it. Or rather, you see her. The body you found floating when you first arrived, its hand is locked around your ankle, the heavy chains pulling you both down into the unfeeling, suffocating nothingness. I get it. We shouldn't have killed her. Just get it away from us, please. The past is the past. There's no changing it. There's nothing to fix. And there's not a lot we can do about the present either. Not unless we think like we should have been doing all along. But there is no thinking as you drown. You desperately try to pull yourself back to the surface again, and again, and again. Your icy limbs flailing desperately against the grip of her rotting corpse. And all the while her ghastly figure stares down at you, expressionless, as unfeeling as the weight around your ankle.
Your lungs filled with water, the same way mine filled with blood. In the end, we're not so different.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? I would have kept them in the dark if I were you. What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. It doesn't matter if there are. People are frail and impermanent. You and I are the only things that interest me. No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. This one is guarded sorrow. She saw herself as alone, but in the end had the courage to share with another. She will make for a deep heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally been heard. There's nowhere for you to be but here. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
I don't
In
know.
the basement of that cabin is a princess.
How long was my mic on silent? I just had so much commentary and so many questions for those things. Fuck this narrator, bitch. I'm out of here. Oh my god.